so after filling out this table with the sine of the angle divided by the angle side, and then, or the angle side divided by sine of the angle, what can you tell me? What do you notice about this and about this? What do you notice about the answer for each of these columns? So if you look at this answer right here, this answer, and this answer, what can you tell me about them? Different, the same, similar, close? They're the same, right? Technically, if I didn't round this, the 0.7660 and then the 0.90063, they're going to be the same. The only thing that's different here is a little bit of rounding, right? Because this was 34.46, this one 34.43, right? So they're very, very close. How about when I look at this? What can you tell me about these? They're the same. So what happened here, basically, when I did the side length divided by sine A, is going to be equal to the side length of B divided by sine B. It's going to be equal to the side length of C over sine C. Now I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to ask you, what kind of triangle do I have here? Do I have a right angle triangle, or do I have an oblique triangle? Oblique. So it's not right angle triangle. Okay? So in the case of not a right angle triangle, to solve the triangle, we're going to use a new law. It's not SOHCAHTOA anymore, because SOHCAHTOA is only used with right angle triangles. Okay? So what we did yesterday with SOHCAHTOA was only with right angle triangles. But when we have oblique triangles, then we have to use the sine law to be able to solve for my sides and for my angles. And from what we just explored right now, the sine law says that A over sine A is actually equal to B over sine B. Yes? And then it's equal to C over sine C. So the sine law, which we just discovered, that says that if I have A over sine A is going to equal to B over sine B, and is going to equal to C over sine C. No matter what my angles and sides are, this is gonna work. Same as if I have sine A over A, that's going to equal to sine B over B, and that's going to equal to sine C over C. Okay? And I just discovered that if you go back and look at the table, last column of the table, this is what it says. Right? This is what we just discovered. Are you guys okay with this part? So now the question is, when and how do I use the sine law? So anytime you're finding an angle, you're going to use this formula up here. So this one you're going to use if you're finding an angle, because then it's easier for you to solve. Okay? And because in this case your angle is on the top. Remember the capital letter A, B, and C, they represent the angles. Anytime you're finding a side, you are going to use this formula, which is the side is on the top divided by sine A, side B over sine B, and side C over sine C. So I can solve for the side if I'm given two angles and any other side. So if I know this angle, for example, and I know, so I need two angles, and I know this angle, right? And I know this side. So let's look at B, B, A, A. So I know angle B, angle A, and side B. I can use the sine law. Okay? In this case, I'm going to be looking for side A. So basically, I'm going to use this formula right here. Okay? Which ones do I know? What do I know? I know angle B and side B, right? So basically, I know angle B and I know side B. I know angle A, so I know this, right? And what am I looking for? I'm looking for A. So in this case, if I take these two, and I write it down, I know this, right? I know this and this, right? So all what I have to do is I have to look for this, which is simply done by cross multiplying and then finding the answer of this. Okay? So in this case, I'm using two of the fractions, two of the ratios. I know three things, and I'm looking for the fourth. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Okay? Now let's say if I know the A's and I'm looking for the C, then instead I would be using the A over sine A and the C over sine C. So I'm going to have to decide which formula to use and which two I am going to use. Either I'm going to use A over sine A and C over sine C, or I'm going to use the B and the C, or I'm going to use the A and the B. So I'm going to pick only two of the ratios and I'm going to work with them. Okay? Now in the other case, if you're looking for an angle, you need to have two sides and an opposite angle. Okay? So you need to have two of the sides and one opposite angle. So that example would be so let's say if I have triangle ABC, if you know side B and side C, okay, these are given to you. And then they give you, let's say, angle C. Okay, so you have two sides and one opposite angle, right? So I have the opposite angle to C. So C and C. And I have side B, which means I'm going to be looking for angle B. Okay, so in this case, because I'm looking for an angle, I'm going to use the top formula. And then because I know B and C, I'm going to use these two. Okay, so it's a matter of decision what to use. Okay, let's look at an example because then it will make sense when I look at an example. Okay, so the question is asking you to find measure of C. Since it's a small c, that means it's a side or an angle. So, now, what do I know? I know angle B and side B. And I know angle C. And I'm looking for side C. Now the question is, I have in this case two angles and a side. Right? So I can, and I'm looking for another side. So which formula I'm going to use? I'm looking for a side. The second. And since I know B and C, since I know B and I'm looking for C, so which one of these three I'm going to use? The B and the C, right? So I'm going to use these two. Okay? So I'm going to write it down. So B over sine B equals to C over sine C. So, do I know what side B is? Do I know what side B is? Yes, what is it? 32. So I'm gonna plug in 32 for side B. Do I know what angle B is? What's angle B? 60. Do I know what side C is? No, I'm looking for that. So I'm gonna keep it as is. And then do I know what angle C is? It's 40 degrees, right? So as you see, everything is known except of side C. So to find side C, all what I have to do is I call this half cross multiply. So you're only gonna cross multiply one of the sides. Okay? So basically you're gonna bring the sine 40 here and it becomes multiplication. Because what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So that's going to be 32 times sine 40 over sine 60, and that equals to side C, right? So on your calculator, you're going to do that. And then what are you going to end up? So you're going to do 32 times sine 40. And then you're going to divide by sine 60. And your answer, what do you guys get? 23.74, which is 0.8 because it said side. I can only keep it to one decimal place. So on the calculator, you're going to do 32 times sine 40, and then you're going to divide by sine 60. So do 32 times 40 sine, because your calculator is fast. Think your calculator is going to be wrong. Divide by 60. Make sure you have that. Okay, because you want to end that. All right. So I need to know three things, and I'll be looking for one. Does that make sense to you guys? Now, if I look at the second one, what do I know here? I know two sides and one angle, and I'm looking for an angle. What angle am I looking for? Angle C. It does say right here, find, measure, angle C. So I'm looking for this angle, right? What do I know? I know side C. Yeah. And I know angle B and side B. So since I'm looking for angle C, which one of the formulas I'm going to use? The first one. Because I'm looking at I'm gonna use sine B equal to sine C over C. So I'm gonna use this part of the formula. Okay? So let's set it up. So sine 60 over 50 equals to sine C, which I don't know what that is, divided by 35. So to find sine C, what do I do? So if I want to find sine C, what do I do? Yeah, so you just have to multiply this by this, right? Because you want to get rid of that division by 35. Okay, so that's going to be 35 sine 60 all over 50 equals to sine C. So enter that in the calculator, 35 times sine 60, and then divide by 50 and tell me what you guys are going to get. You get 0.6062? Yes. Did we get that? Yes? Now is that a good measure for angle C? Did I find angle C this way? Does this say angle C or does this C? I'm asking you that question, guys. It says sine C. So yesterday we learned a way to do something to find the angle if I know the ratio. What did I do? The inverse. I have to do here angle C is equal to sine inverse. So that's whenever I'm looking for the angle, I do the inverse. So you're going to have to do sine inverse. And then it should be the nearest degree, so that's going to be 37 degrees. Is that what you guys got? Is that what you guys got? So this is day 3 homework number 1B. It's on page 5. The question is asking you to solve or find side x. Page 5, homework book. The homework book page. So, where's side x?
Down.
This is side x, right? So this right here. So this is what the question is asking me to solve. Now, what do I know? I know z and the side z, right? So I know this. In order for me to be able to use this, I need to know basically z and the sine z, right? And I need to know, because I'm looking for x, what do I need to know? What angle? Angle x, right? Because the ratio says z over z, x over x. So they have to match. Do I know angle x? Can I find it? How many angles do I know? Two. If I want to find the third angle, what do? Add them and subtract from 180. Remember that the sum of all the three angles inside of the triangle is going to be 180. If I know 2, I can find the third. Right? So the first thing that I have to do here, before I can get into the sine law, I have to find angle x. To find angle x, I have to do 180 minus 72 minus 32. Or you can add 72 and 32 and then subtract the total from 180. Okay? So what do you get when you do that? 76? So now I know that angle x is 76 degrees. Now I can use the sine law. Now the sine law says you have to have z, because I have both of the z, right, the angle and the side. I know angle x, so I'm looking for side x. So which side do I use, the first one or the second one in the previous page? So I use sine first on the top, or I use the side on the top? So I'm looking for a side. Second. So it's going to be equals to z. Goodness, this is not working properly. Over sine z. Do I know side x? I don't. This is what I'm looking for.
Side z, sorry, is $21.97, so that's
What happens is this is going to become 22.0.